Stranger Things is an American television series created by the Duffer Brothers for Netflix. Produced by Monkey Massacre Productions and 21 Laps Entertainment, the first season was released on Netflix on July 15, 2016. The second and third seasons followed in October 2017 and July 2019, respectively, and the fourth season was released in two parts in May and July of 2022. The fifth and final season was released in 3 volumes, including the finale, in November and December 2025. The show combines elements of horror, science fiction, mystery, coming of age, and drama. Set in the 1980s, the series centers on the residents of the fictional small town of Hawkins, Indiana, after a young girl with psychokinetic abilities, named 11, inadvertently creates a wormhole known as the Upside Down, at a nearby secretive government research facility, connecting Earth to a hostile realm called the Abyss. The cast includes Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, Gaten Matarazzo, Caleb McLaughlin, Natalia Dyer, Charlie Heaton, Cara Buono, Matthew Modine, Noah Schnapp, Sadie Sink, Joe Keery, Dacre Montgomery, Sean Astin, Paul Reiser, Maya Hawke, Prye Ferguson, Brett Gelman, Linda Hamilton, Jamie Campbell Bower, and Nell Fisher. The Duffer Brothers developed Stranger Things as a blend of investigative drama and supernatural horror, infused with childlike wonder and references to the popular culture of the 1980s. Several thematic and directorial elements were inspired by the works of Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, David Lynch, Stephen King, Wes Craven, H.P. Lovecraft, and From Software. The show also drew inspiration from Cold War-era experiments and conspiracy theories involving secret government programs. Stranger Things has received critical acclaim throughout its run, with praise for its characterization, atmosphere, acting, direction, writing, and homage to 1980s cinema, making it a touchstone of 1980s nostalgia. 456 It has garnered many accolades and is widely regarded as one of the greatest television shows of all time. A Stranger Things is a flagship series for Netflix, drawing record viewership with each season's release. The series has expanded into a media franchise, including an animated spin-off, Stranger Things, Tales from 85-15-16 and a prequel stage play, Stranger Things, The First Shadow. It has also inspired several books, comics, tie-in media, a pop-up shop, and a Dungeons & Dragons role-playing starter set game based on the series. Overview. Stranger Things is set in the fictional rural town of Hawkins, Indiana, in the 1980s. Hawkins is described as the town where nothing ever happens in the second season. The nearby Hawkins National Laboratory ostensibly performs scientific research for the United States Department of Energy, but also secretly experiments with the paranormal and supernatural, sometimes with human test subjects. They inadvertently create a portal to an alternate dimension referred to as the Upside Down, whose presence begins to affect the residents of Hawkins in unusual ways. 1718. The first season begins on November 6, 1983, when Will Byers is abducted by a creature from the Upside Down, dubbed the Demogorgon. His mother Joyce, Police Chief Jim Hopper, and a group of volunteers search for him. A young psychokinetic girl named 11 escapes from Hawkins' lab and is found by Will's friends, Mike Wheeler, Dustin Henderson, and Lucas Sinclair. 11 befriends and assists them in their efforts to find Will. Mike's older sister Nancy and Will's older brother Jonathan learn about the Demogorgon and the existence of the Upside Down. Will is eventually found alive, while 11 disappears after killing the Demogorgon. 19. The second season is set 11 months later, between October and November 1984. Joyce is dating her former classmate Bob Newby, but they discover that Will is still affected by a shadowy entity from the Upside Down. Will's friends and family learn that anything connected to the Upside Down is part of a hive mind known as the Mind Flayer. Lucas earns the affection of a new classmate, Max Mayfield, while Dustin teams up with Nancy's ex-boyfriend Steve Harrington to fend off a horde of adolescent demogorgons dubbed Demodogs which kill Bob and threaten the rest of their friends. 11 reappears and closes the gate to the Upside Down underneath Hawkins' laboratory. 20. The third season is set 9 months later, in the days leading up to the 4th of July celebrations in 1985. The new Starcourt Mall becomes the center of attention for Hawkins residents. Hopper adopts 11 and becomes increasingly concerned about her relationship with Mike. Dustin, Steve, and his co-worker Robin Buckley, and Lucas's younger sister Erica discover that a secret Soviet laboratory beneath Starcourt is attempting to reopen the gateway to the Upside Down. Meanwhile, the Mind Flayer possesses Max's stepbrother, Billy Hargrove, and begins creating physical vessels made of melted flesh to carry out its will. 11 loses her powers, Billy dies, and Hopper seemingly dies when the Soviets' gate is closed. 21-22. The fourth season is set 8 months later, in March 1986. The Byers family and 11 have moved to Lenora, California for a fresh start. In Hawkins, multiple teenagers are murdered by the Mind Flayer's partner and Hawkins Laboratory's first test subject, later dubbed Vecna, to open gates between Hawkins and the Upside Down. Vecna frames Dustin's friend Eddie Munson for the murders and targets Max as his fourth victim. To help 11 regain her powers, Dr. Sam Owens takes her to a secure facility. Joyce and Murray Bauman learn that Hopper survived but was captured by Soviets, so they rescue him from a gulag in the Kamchatka Peninsula. 11 regains her powers, but Vecna's forces kill Eddie, cause Max to fall into a coma, and open rifts throughout Hawkins. The fifth and final season is primarily set in November 1987. The military puts Hawkins under quarantine and hunts for 11, while the group tracks down Vecna until he kidnaps Nancy and Mike's younger sister, Holly, alongside 11 other children. The Upside Down is discovered to be a wormhole between Hawkins and another dimension known as the Abyss. Vecna plans to use the children to merge the Abyss with Hawkins. The group ultimately rescues the captured children, kills Vecna and the Mind Flayer, and destroys the Upside Down. To prevent the military from creating new psychic test subjects with her blood, 11 stays behind in the collapsing Upside Down. 18 months later, in May 1989, Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, and Max graduate from high school, and Hopper proposes to Joyce. Mike theorizes about how 11 could have potentially faked her death. Cast and characters. Main article, list of Stranger Things characters. Winona Ryder as Joyce Byers, 23, the mother of Will and Jonathan Byers. She is divorced from their father, Lonnie Byers. Protective and strong-willed, she becomes determined to find Will after he goes missing, convinced that his disappearance is paranormal in nature. David Harbour as Jim Hopper, 23, the chief of Hawkins Police Department. After his young daughter Sarah died of cancer, Hopper divorced and lapsed into alcoholism. He becomes more responsible, helping Joyce investigate the truth behind Will's disappearance, and adopting 11 as his daughter. He and Joyce have feelings for each other. Finn Wolfhard as Mike Wheeler, 24, middle child and the only son of Karen and Ted Wheeler, brother of Nancy and Holly, and one of Will Byers' 3 close friends. He is an intelligent and conscientious student and is committed to his friends. He develops romantic feelings for 11 and later dates her. Millie Bobby Brown as Jane L. Hopper, née Ives, /1124, a girl with telepathic and psychokinetic abilities as a result of being one of Dr. Brenner's subjects from Hawkins National Laboratory. She escapes the lab and eventually becomes an adoptive daughter to Jim Hopper and takes his surname, and adjusts to living a normal life with the help of Mike, whom she later dates, and his friends. Gaten Matarazzo as Dustin Henderson, 24, one of Will Byers' friends. His cleidocranial dysplasia causes him to lisp. In the second season, he is proud of his new front teeth and is attracted to Max. In season 3, he gets a girlfriend, Susie, who he met at summer camp. Caleb McLaughlin as Lucas Sinclair, 24, one of Will's friends. He is wary of 11 but later befriends her. In Season 2, he is one of Max's love interests and eventually becomes her boyfriend. In Season 4, he becomes more popular at school after joining the Hawkins High basketball team, which briefly puts him at odds with his regular friend group. Natalia Dyer as Nancy Wheeler, 24, daughter of Karen and Ted and older sister of Mike and Holly. Studious and rule-abiding, Nancy finds another side of herself while investigating Hawkins' lab and the death of her friend Barbara. In the first 2 seasons, she is the girlfriend of Steve Harrington, but breaks up with him and then dates Jonathan Byers. She is an aspiring journalist. Charlie Heaton as Jonathan Byers, 24, the older brother of Will Byers and the son of Joyce Byers. He is a quiet and kind-hearted teenager, an outsider at school, and an aspiring photographer. He is close with his mother and brother, and he becomes the boyfriend of Nancy Wheeler. Cara Buono as Karen Wheeler, Seasons 1 to 3 and 5, recurring, Season 4, 25, mother of Nancy, Mike, and Holly, who is mostly unaware of her children's activities for much of the series. Matthew Modine as Dr. Martin Brenner, Seasons 1 and 4, recurring, Season 2, 26, the scientist in charge of Hawkins' laboratory and training 11. Manipulative and remote, he and his team search for 11 in Season 1 after she escapes. He is referred to as Papa by 11. In Season 4, he returns to help 11 regain her powers and protect her from the government agents hunting her down. 27. Noah Schnapp as Will Byers, Seasons 2 to 5, recurring, Season 1, 24, the son of Joyce Byers and younger brother of Jonathan Byers. He is captured by a monster from the Upside Down in Season 1. He later develops a connection to the Upside Down and the Mind Flayer due to his capture. He struggles with his sexuality and unrequited feelings for Mike, and comes out as gay in Season 5. 28-29. Sadie Sink as Max Mayfield, Seasons 2 to 5, Billy's younger stepsister and a tomboy who catches the attention of both Lucas and Dustin, eventually dating Lucas. In Season 4, she becomes one of the teens targeted by Vecna. 29. Joe Keery as Steve Harrington, Seasons 2 to 5, recurring, Season 1, a popular high school student and the boyfriend of Nancy Wheeler. He ostracizes Jonathan Byers but later befriends him. He and Nancy break up in Season 2 but remain friends. He is known as the babysitter of the group, often left to look after the kids, particularly Dustin, with whom he forms a strong rapport. 30-29. Dacre Montgomery as Billy Hargrove, Seasons 2 to 3, guest, Season 4, Max's violent, unpredictable, and abusive older stepbrother. He challenges Steve's popularity. In Season 3, he is controlled by the Mind Flayer and dies in the process. 29. Sean Astin as Bob Newby, Season 2, a former schoolmate of Joyce and Hopper who runs the Hawkins Radio Shack. 31. He is Joyce's boyfriend, putting him at odds with Hopper. He dies after being attacked by creatures from the Upside Down. 32. Paul Reiser as Dr. Sam Owens, Seasons 2 and 4, guest, Season 3, a Department of Energy executive who replaces Brenner as director of Hawkins' laboratory. He is committed to scientific research yet empathetic to the residents of Hawkins, and he helps Hopper adopt 11 as his legal daughter. He returns with Brenner in Season 4 to help 11 regain her powers and to protect her from government agents hunting her. 31. Maya Hawke as Robin Buckley, Seasons 3 to 5, a girl who works alongside Steve at the mall ice cream shop. She later comes out as a lesbian to him. She and Steve become close friends, working together at Scoops Ahoy and later at the video store. 33. In Season 5, she begins dating her classmate Vicky, a volunteer nurse. Prye Ferguson as Erica Sinclair, Seasons 3 to 5, co-star, Season 2, Lucas's younger sister who helps the group. She is very smart and has an avid interest in D&D. 33. Brett Gelman as Murray Bauman, Seasons 4 to 5, recurring, Seasons 2 to 3, a conspiracy theorist, private investigator, and old acquaintance of Hopper who assists Nancy and Jonathan, and later Hopper and Joyce. Linda Hamilton as Dr. K, Season 5, the sinister leader of the military unit dispatched to Hawkins after the opening of rifts to the Upside Down. She oversees a research base installed within the Upside Down itself. Jamie Campbell Bower as Henry Creel /1 Vecna, Season 5, recurring, Season 4, a murderous psychic being from the Upside Down. Having attained supernatural abilities as a child, he murdered his family and was subsequently placed under Brenner's care. Flashbacks in Season 4 reveal that Eleven banished him to an interdimensional space when she was 8 years old, after which he was disfigured and later took control of the Upside Down. Nell Fisher, Season 5, B. and Aniston and Tinsley Price, co-star, Seasons 1-4, as Holly Wheeler, Nancy, and Mike's younger sister and Karen's youngest child. Episodes. Main article, List of Stranger Things episodes. Season episodes originally released. 1. 8 July 15, 2016. 2. 9 October 27, 2017. 3. 8 July 4, 2019. 4. 9-7 May 27, 2022. 2 July 1, 2022. 5. 8-4 November 26, 2025. 3 December 25, 2025. 1 December 31, 2025. Production. Development. Ross, Left, and Matt Duffer, the creators and showrunners of the series. Stranger Things was created by Matt and Ross Duffer, known professionally as the Duffer Brothers 34, who also serve as showrunners and head writers and direct many of the episodes. They wrote and produced their 2015 film Hidden, in which they emulated the style of M. Night Shyamalan. However, due to changes at Warner Brothers, its distributor, it did not see wide release and the Duffers were unsure of their future. 35 To their surprise, television producer Donald DeLine approached them, impressed with Hidden's script, and offered them the opportunity to work on episodes of Wayward Pines with Shyamalan. The brothers were mentored by Shyamalan during the episode's production so that when they finished, they felt they were ready to produce their own television series. 36. The Duffers prepared a script when, similar to the series' eventual pilot episode, along with a 20-page pitch book to help shop the series to networks. 37 They pitched the story to about 15 cable networks, 38 all of whom felt a plot with children as leading characters would not work and asked the brothers to either make it a children's series or drop the children and focus on Hopper's investigation into the paranormal. 36. In early 2015, Dan Cohen, the VP of 21 Laps Entertainment, brought the script to his colleague Sean Levy. They subsequently invited the Duffer brothers to their office and purchased the rights for the series, giving the brothers full authorship. After reading the pilot, the streaming service Netflix purchased the whole season for an undisclosed sum $39, and in April of the same year, the series was announced for a 2016 release. 40. The Duffer brothers stated that at the time they pitched to Netflix, the company had already been recognized for its original programming in shows such as House of Cards and Orange is the New Black, with well-recognized producers behind them, and were ready to start giving upcoming producers like them a chance. 37 The brothers started casting and brought Levy and Cohen in as the other executive producers to discuss storylines, with Levy also directing for the show. 41. Montauk is an 8-hour sci-fi horror epic. Set in Long Island in 1980 and inspired by the supernatural classics of that era, we explore the crossroads where the ordinary meet the extraordinary. Emotional, cinematic, and rooted in character, Montauk is a love letter to the golden age of Steven Spielberg and Stephen King, a marriage of human drama and supernatural fear. The Duffer Brothers' original pitch for Montauk. 42. The book cover the Duffer Brothers created to pitch Montauk. For this, they took inspiration from Stephen King book covers such as Firestarter. The series was originally known as Montauk, The setting was then Montauk, New York, and nearby Long Island locations. Montauk figured into several real-world conspiracy theories involving secret government experiments. 4043 The brothers had chosen Montauk as it had further Spielberg ties with the film Jaws, where Montauk was used for the fictional setting of Amity Island. 44 After deciding to change the narrative of the series to take place in the fictional town of Hawkins instead, the brothers felt they could now do things to the town, such as placing it under quarantine, that they really could not envision with a real location. 44. With the location change, they had to come up with a new title for the series under direction from Netflix's Ted Sarandos, so that they could start marketing it to the public. The brothers started by using a copy of Stephen King's Firestarter novel to consider the title's font and appearance, and came up with a long list of potential alternatives. Stranger Things came about as it sounded similar to another King novel, Needful Things, though Matt noted they still had a lot of heated arguments over this final title. 45. To pitch the series, the Duffer Brothers showcased images, footage, and music from classic 1970s and 1980s films such as E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Poltergeist, Hellraiser, Stand By Me, Firestarter, A Nightmare on Elm Street and Jaws, to establish the tone of the series. 42. Writing. The idea of Stranger Things started with how the brothers felt they could take the concept of the 2013 film Prisoners, detailing the moral struggles a father goes through when his daughter is kidnapped, and expand it out over 8 or so hours in a serialized television approach. As they focused on the missing child aspect of the story, they wanted to introduce the idea of childlike sensibilities they could offer, and toyed around with the idea of a monster that could consume humans. The brothers thought the combination of these things was the best thing ever. 36. To introduce this monster into the narrative, they considered bizarre experiments we had read about taking place in the Cold War, such as MK Ultra, which gave a way to ground the monster's existence in science rather than something spiritual. This also helped them to decide on using 1983 as the time period, as it was a year before the film Red Dawn came out, which focused on Cold War paranoia. 36 Subsequently, they were able to use all their own personal inspirations from the 1980s, the decade in which they were born, as elements of the series 3646, crafting it in the realm of science fiction and horror. 47. Other influences cited by the Duffers include Stephen King novels, films produced by Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, David Lynch, Wes Craven 48, 49, 50, 51 and Guillermo del Toro 45, films such as Star Wars, Alien, and Stand By Me 45, 49, 52, Japanese anime such as Akira and Elfen Lied 45, 48 and several video games including Silent Hill, Dark Souls, and The Last of Us. 53, 54, 48 The Duffers believe that they may have brought influences from other works unintentionally, including Beyond the Black Rainbow and DARYL, discovered by reviewing fan feedback on the series. 44 Several websites and publications have found other pop culture references in the series, particularly references to 1980s pop culture. 55, 56, 57, 58 The primary antagonist for the final 2 seasons, Vecna, was inspired by the villains that scared the brothers when they watched the movies and miniseries as children, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead, and Pennywise. 59. With Netflix as the platform, the Duffers were not limited to a typical 22-episode format, opting for the 8-episode approach. They had been concerned that a 22-episode season on broadcast television would be difficult to tell a cinematic story with that many episodes. 8 episodes allowed them to give time to characterization in addition to narrative development. If they had less time available, they would have had to remain committed to telling a horror film as soon as the monster was introduced and abandon the characterization. 37 Within the 8 episodes, the brothers aimed to make the first season feel like a big movie with all the major plot lines completed so that the audience feels satisfied, but left enough unresolved to indicate there's a bigger mythology, and there's a lot of dangling threads at the end, something that could be explored in further seasons if Netflix chose to greenlight more. 60. Regarding writing for the children characters of the series, the Duffers considered themselves outcasts from other students while in high school and thus found it easy to write for Mike and his friends, and particularly for Barb. 45. Joyce was fashioned after Richard Dreyfuss' character Roy Neary in the 1977 film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, as she appears absolutely bonkers to everyone else as she tries to find Will. 61. Casting. The Duffer Brothers cast David Harbour as Chief Hopper, believing this was his opportunity to portray a lead character. In June 2015, it was announced that Winona Ryder and David Harbour had joined the series as Joyce and the unnamed Chief of Police, respectively. 23. Ryder's sole condition to the Duffers in accepting the part was that, if a sequel to Beetlejuice, 1988, ever materialized as she and Tim Burton had been discussing since 2000, they had to let her take a break to shoot it, a condition the Duffers agreed and ultimately proved to work out when Beetlejuice 2024, was greenlit. 62. The brothers' casting director Carmen Cuba had suggested Ryder for the role of Joyce, which the two were immediately drawn to because of her predominance in 1980s films. 36. Levy believed Ryder could retch up the emotional urgency and yet find layers and nuance and different sides of Joyce. Ryder praised that the show's multiple storylines required her to act for Joyce as if she's out of her mind, but she's actually kind of onto something, and that the producers had faith she could pull off the difficult role. 63. The Duffer Brothers had been interested in Harbour before, who until Stranger Things primarily had smaller roles as villainous characters, and they felt that he had been waiting too long for this opportunity to play a lead, while Harbour himself was thrilled by the script and the chance to play a broken, flawed, anti-hero character. 45. 64. Additional casting followed 2 months later with Finn Wolfhard as Mike, Millie Bobby Brown in an undisclosed role, Gaten Matarazzo as Dustin, Caleb McLaughlin as Lucas, Natalia Dyer as Nancy, and Charlie Heaton as Jonathan. 24. In September 2015, Cara Buono joined the cast as Karen. 25. Followed by Matthew Modine as Martin Brenner a month later. 26. Additional cast who recur include Noah Schnapp as Will. 24. 29. Shannon Purser as Barbara Barb Holland. 65. Joe Keery as Steve Harrington. 30. 29. And Ross Partridge as Lonnie. 66. Among others. Actors auditioning for the children's roles read lines from the 1986 film Stand By Me. 36. The Duffers estimated they went through about 1,000 different child actors for the roles. They noted that Wolfhard was already a movie buff of the films from the 1980s period and easily filled the role, while they found Matarazzo's audition to be much more authentic than most of the other audition tapes, and selected him after a single viewing of his audition tape. 37. As casting had begun immediately after Netflix greenlit the series, and prior to the scripts being fully completed, this allowed some of the actors' takes on the roles to reflect on the script. The casting of the young actors for Will and his friends had been done just after the first script was completed, and subsequent scripts incorporated aspects from these actors. 60. The brothers said Modine provided significant input on the character of Dr. Brenner, whom they had not really fleshed out before, as they considered him the hardest character to write for given his limited appearances within the narrative. 61. Filming. Emory University's former Georgia Mental Health Institute served as the location of Hawkins National Laboratory. The brothers had desired to film the series around the Long Island area to match the initial Montauk concept. However, with filming scheduled to take place in November 2015, it was difficult to shoot in Long Island in the cold weather, and the production started scouting locations in and around the Atlanta, Georgia, area. The brothers, who grew up in North Carolina, found many places that reminded them of their own childhoods in that area, and felt the area would work well with the narrative shift to the fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana. 44. Filming for the first season began in November 2015 and was extensively done in Atlanta, Georgia, with the Duffer Brothers and Levy handling the direction of individual episodes. 67 Jackson served as the basis of the fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana. 68-69 Other shooting locations included the Georgia Mental Health Institute as the Hawkins National Laboratory site, Bellwood Quarry, and Patrick Henry High School in Stockbridge, Georgia, for the middle and high school scenes. 70. Filming locations also included Emory University's Continuing Education Department, the former City Hall in Douglasville, Georgia, the Georgia International Horse Park in Conyers, Georgia, the Probate Court in Butts County, Georgia, Old East Point Library and East Point First Baptist Church in East Point, Georgia, Fayetteville, Georgia, Stone Mountain Park, Palmetto, Georgia, and Winston, Georgia. 71 Set work was done at Screen Gem Studios in Atlanta. 71 And the first season was filmed with a Red Epic Dragon camera. 61-72 Filming for the first season concluded in early 2016. 68. After the third season finished filming, producers considered the idea of keeping the Starcourt Mall set as a permanent attraction for fans to visit, but ultimately decided against it. 73. Filming for the fourth season was slated to begin in January 2020 and to last through August. 74 With the release of a February 2020 teaser for the season, the Duffers confirmed that production had started. 75 Some filming for the fourth season took place at Lukiškės prison and nearby in Vilnius, Lithuania. 76 In March 2020, production was stopped due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 77 And resumed that September. 78. Filming for the fifth and final season was expected to start in June 2023. 79 Before the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike delayed it to January 8, 2024. 80 Production began on that day and wrapped on December 20. 81. Visual effects. To create the aged effect for the series, a film grain was added over the footage, which was captured by scanning in film stock from the 1980s. 61 The Duffer Brothers wanted to scare the audience, but not to necessarily make the series violent or gory, following in line with how the 1980s Amblin Entertainment films drove the creation of the PG-13 movie rating. They said such films were much more about mood and atmosphere and suspense and dread than they are about gore, though they were not afraid to push into more scary elements, particularly towards the end of the first season. 61. The brothers had wanted to avoid any computer-generated effects for the monster and other parts of the series and stay with practical effects, so they created an animatronic to play the part of the Demogorgon. 82-83 However, the 6-month filming time left them little time to plan out and test practical effects rigs for some of the shots. They went with a middle ground of using constructed props, including one for the monster whenever they could, but for other shots, such as when the monster bursts through a wall, they opted to use digital effects. Post-production on the first season was completed the week before it was released to Netflix. 36. The title sequence uses close-ups of the letters in the Stranger Things title with a red tint against a black background as they slide into place within the title. The sequence was created by the studio Imaginary Forces, formerly part of R/GA, led by creative director Michelle Doughty. 84 Levy introduced the studio to the Duffer Brothers, who explained their vision of the 1980s inspired series, which helped the studio to fix the concept the producers wanted. Later, but before filming, the producers sent Imaginary Forces the pilot script, the synth-heavy background music for the titles, as well as the various book covers from King and other authors that they had used to establish the title and imagery, and were looking for a similar approach for the series titles, primarily using a typographical sequence. 85. They took inspiration from several title sequences of works from the 1980s that were previously designed by Richard Greenberg under R/GA, such as Altered States and The Dead Zone. They also got input from Dan Perry, who worked on the title credits of several 1980s films. Various iterations included having letters vanish, to reflect the missing theme of the series, and having letters cast shadows on others, alluding to the mysteries, before settling into the sliding letters. The studio began working on the title sequence before filming, and took about a month off during the filming process to let the producers get immersed in the series and come back with more input. 85. Initially, they had been working with various fonts for the title and used close-ups of the best features of these fonts, but near the end, the producers wanted to work with ITC Benguiat, requiring them to rework those shots. The final sequence is fully computer-generated, but they took inspiration from testing some practical effects, such as using Codolith masks as would have been done in the 1980s, to develop the appropriate filters for the rendering software. The individual episode title cards used a fly-through approach, similar to the film Bullet, which the producers had suggested to the studio. 85. Music. Main article, Music of Stranger Things. Michael Stein and Kyle Dixon of the electronic band Survive have composed the original soundtrack for the show, including the show's theme song. 86. It makes extensive use of synthesizers in homage to 1980s artists and film composers including Jean-Michel Jarre, Tangerine Dream, Vangelis, Goblin, John Carpenter, Giorgio Moroder, and Fabio Frizzi. 87. According to Stein and Dixon, the Duffer Brothers had been fans of Survive's music since the 2014 film The Guest. 86. 88. 89. Once the series was greenlit, the Duffer Brothers contacted Survive around July 2015 to ask if they were still doing music. The two provided the production team with dozens of songs from their band's past to gain their interest, helping to land them the role. 86. In addition to original music, Stranger Things features period music from artists including Joy Division, Toto, New Order, The Bangles, Foreigner, Bon Jovi, The Police, Echo and the Bunnymen, Peter Gabriel, Prince, Iron Maiden, and Corey Hart, as well as excerpts from Tangerine Dream, John Carpenter, and Vangelis. 1991. Some songs have been used as narrative elements, such as The Clash's Should I Stay or Should I Go within the first season 91 and Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill in the fourth and fifth seasons. 92. Some of these licensed songs saw subsequent resurgence on sales charts after the respective seasons they featured in aired, most notably Running Up That Hill and Metallica's Master of Puppets in the fourth season, and Limel's The Never-Ending Story in the third season. 93. 94. 95. Soundtracks containing the original compositions and the licensed music for each season have been released by Lakeshore Records. Release. The first season consisted of 8 one-hour-long episodes which were released worldwide on Netflix on July 15, 2016. 96. In Ultra HD 4K. The second season, consisting of 9 episodes, was released on October 27, 2017, in HDR. 97. 98. The third season once again consists of 8 episodes 99 and was released on July 4, 2019. 100. The fourth season, consisting of 9 episodes, was released in 2 volumes on May 27 and July 1, 2022, respectively. 101. In February 2022, Netflix renewed the series for a 5th and final season. 102. The 5th season, consisting of 8 episodes, premiered its first volume on November 26, 2025, the second on December 25, 2025, and the series finale on December 31. 103. Shortly after the 4th season's release, viewers reported that Will's friends did not acknowledge his birthday in an episode of the season that took place on that day. The Duffers said in an interview that they could rectify the matter by changing its month, which they called George Lucasing the situation, in reference to the canon changes that George Lucas had made to the original Star Wars trilogy to match what the prequel trilogy had added. 104. Some viewers took this to imply that scenes from earlier seasons were also being edited, including one scene where Jonathan takes discreet pictures of a pool party that Steve, Nancy, and Barbara are holding. The writers stated that no scenes from previous seasons have ever been cut or re-edited, including this scene. 104. Home media. The first season was released on a Blu-ray/DVD combo pack exclusively to Target retailers on October 17, 2017, and the same for the 4K/Blu-ray combo pack on November 15, 2017, both of which includes vintage CBS Fox VHS-inspired packaging. 105-106 The second season received a similar release on November 6, 2018. 107-108 Reception. Winona Ryder, Left, was nominated for Golden Globe Award, Satellite Award, and Screen Actors Guild Award, while Millie Bobby Brown, Right, was nominated for 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards in the same category and 2 Primetime Emmy Awards. Audience viewership. Netflix did not initially reveal subscriber viewership numbers for their original series, and Symphony Technology Group compiled data for the season based on people using software on their phones that measures television viewing by detecting a program's sound. According to Symphony, within the first 35 days of release, Stranger Things averaged ratings of around 14.07 million adults between the ages of 18 and 49 in the United States. This made it the 3rd most watched season of Netflix original content in the US at the time, behind the 1st season of Fuller House and 4th season of Orange is the New Black. 109 In a September 2016 analysis, Netflix found that Stranger Things hooked viewers by the 2nd episode of the 1st season, indicating that the 2nd episode was the first installment that led at least 70% of viewers who watched that episode to complete the entire 1st season of a show. 110. For the 3rd season, Netflix revealed that the show had broken viewing records for Netflix, with 40.7 million households having watched the show in its first 4 days, and 18.2 million already watched the entire series within that time frame. 111 Within its first month, the 3rd season was watched by 64 million households, setting a new record for the most watched original Netflix series. 112-113. The series is the most followed TV show on social media app TV Times history, with over 5 million followers. 114. Critical response. Critical response of Stranger Things. Season Rotten Tomatoes Metacritic. 197%, 92 reviews, 115 76, 34 reviews, 116. 294%, 150 reviews, 117 78, 33 reviews, 118. 389%, 141 reviews, 119 72, 28 reviews, 120. 490%, 200 reviews, 121 69, 29 reviews, 122. 583%, 168 reviews, 123 71, 32 reviews, 124. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave the show an overall score of 90%, 125, while Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, gave an overall score of 74. 126. Rotten Tomatoes gave the first season an approval rating of 97% based on 92 reviews and a weighted average rating of 8.2/10. The site's critical consensus states, "Exciting, heartbreaking, and sometimes scary, Stranger Things acts as an addictive homage to Spielberg films and vintage 1980s television." 115. The New York Times has compared the show to Rob Reiner's Stand By Me, relating their nostalgic feel by finding that timeless moment where everything seemed tantalizingly, scarily new. 127. Metacritic gave the first season a normalized score of 74 out of 100 based on 142 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 116. Rotten Tomatoes gave the second season an approval rating of 94% based on 150 reviews. The site's critical consensus states, "Stranger Things' slow-building sophomore season balances moments of humor and a nostalgic sweetness against a growing horror that's all the more effective thanks to the show's full-bodied characters and evocative tone." 117. On Metacritic, the second season has a normalized score of 78 out of 100, based on 33 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 118. Rotten Tomatoes gave the third season an approval rating of 89% based on 141 reviews. The site's critical consensus states, "Vibrant and charming, Stranger Things transforms itself into a riveting if familiar summer ride that basks in its neon-laden nostalgia without losing sight of the rich relationships that make the series so endearing." 119. On Metacritic, the third season has a normalized score of 72 out of 100, based on 28 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 120. Rotten Tomatoes gave the fourth season an approval rating of 90% based on 200 reviews. The site's critical consensus reads, "Darker and denser than its predecessors, Stranger Things' fourth chapter sets the stage for the show's final season in typically binge-worthy fashion." 121. Metacritic gave a score of 69 out of 100 based on 29 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 122. Rotten Tomatoes gave the fifth and final season an approval rating of 83% based on 168 reviews. The site's critics' consensus states, "Stranger Things plays its cards just right in Season 5, solidifying its pop culture classic status with genuinely captivating genre fare." 123. Metacritic gave a score of 71 out of 100 based on 32 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 124. Stranger Things was ranked the third best television show of 2016 by The Guardian and Empire. 128-129. It was also included on The Atlantic's list of best TV shows of 2017. 130. In 2021, BBC Culture polled 206 critics, journalists, academics, and industry figures from around the world to compile the 100 greatest television series of the 21st century. Stranger Things came in at number 68. 131. Commentary. Shannon Purser's performance as Barb received widespread attention from fans and led to her being nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Drama Series. Stranger Things gained a dedicated fan base soon after its release. One area of focus was the character of Barb, Nancy's friend and classmate who is killed off early into the first season. 132. According to actress Shannon Purser, Barb wasn't supposed to be a big deal, and the Duffer brothers had not gone into great detail about the character since the focus was on finding Will. However, many fans sympathized with the character. Laura Bradley of Vanity Fair suggested that Barb would be a similar misfit in society, and looks more like someone you might actually meet in real life compared to the other characters, particularly Nancy. Hashtags grew in popularity after the series release, such as hashtag I'm with Barb and hashtag Justice for Barb, and several fan sites and forums were created to support her. 133. Purser did not return for the second season, but the Duffer brothers used the real-life Justice for Barb movement as inspiration for a storyline at the start of the season, in which Nancy addresses the fact that no one ever cares about Barb. 32. Purser and several media outlets took her nomination as Barb for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Drama Series in the Primetime Emmy Awards as achieving justice for Barb, highlighting how well her character was received. 134. 135. 136. Another impact of the series has been an increased demand for Eggo waffles, as they are shown to be Eleven's favorite food in several episodes and are seen as a representation of the series. 137. The Kellogg Company manufactures Eggo and had not been part of the production prior to the first season's release, but they recognized the market impact of the series. They provided a vintage 1980s Eggo television advertisement for Netflix to use in its Super Bowl 51 commercial, and they intend to become more involved with cross-promotion. 138. Coca-Cola released a limited run of New Coke, introduced in 1985, to coincide with the third season, which takes place in 1985. 139. Controversies. In April 2018, filmmaker Charlie Kessler filed a lawsuit against the Duffer Brothers, claiming that they stole his idea behind his short film Montauk, which featured a similar premise of a missing boy, a nearby military base doing otherworldly experiments, and a monster from another dimension. Kessler directed the film and debuted it at the 2012 Hamptons International Film Festival. During the Tribeca Film Festival in April 2014, he pitched his film to the Duffer Brothers and later gave them the script, ideas, story, and film for a larger film idea which he called the Montauk Project. Kessler contended that the Duffer Brothers used his ideas to devise the premise for Stranger Things and sought a third of the income that they had made from the series. 141. The Duffer Brothers' lawyer stated that they never saw Kessler's film nor spoke to him regarding it, and that Kessler had no input into their concepts for Stranger Things. 142. The judge denied summary judgment for the Duffer Brothers in April 2019, allowing Kessler's suit to proceed to trial. 143. Just before the trial was due to start in May 2019, Kessler withdrew his lawsuit after hearing the depositions and seeing documents from as early as 2010 which showed him that the Duffers had independently come up with the concept of Stranger Things. 144. Journalists have noted that the idea of supernatural events around Montauk had originated due to urban legend of the Montauk Project, which came to light from the 1992 book The Montauk Project, Experiments in Time. 145, 146, 147. In September 2017, multiple media outlets published articles about a cease and desist letter sent by a Netflix in-house attorney to the operator of a Stranger Things themed bar in Chicago. 148, 149. The letter included humorous references to the series, "Unless I'm living in the Upside Down, we're not going to go full Dr. Brenner on you. The Demogorgon is not always as forgiving." The letter also won praise from lawyers for its even-handedness in not demanding immediate closure of the bar, only demanding that the bar not remain open without Netflix's permission past its initial scheduled run. 148. In July 2022, 6 Jewish and Roma groups condemned the use of Lukiski's prison as a filming location for the 4th season. Protesters pointed out the prison's involvement in the Holocaust and its role in the Ponary massacre, denounced Netflix's partnering with local tourism board Go Vilnius to rent out a refurbished Stranger Things themed prison cell on Airbnb, and criticized Netflix's decision to repost images of fans' 11-inspired numerical tattoos on their Instagram, saying it desecrates the living memories of Holocaust survivors. A petition calling on Netflix to close the rental and apologize garnered more than 60,000 signatures, leading Go Vilnius to shut down the Airbnb listing indefinitely. Multiple news outlets contacted Netflix for comment, but received no response. 150, 151, 152. Accolades. Main article, list of awards and nominations received by Stranger Things. Stranger Things has received numerous awards and nominations across the entertainment industry, including 10 Primetime Emmy Award nominations and 4 Golden Globe Award nominations through the 2nd season. The series cast has received several of these. The series' first season cast won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series, while series leads Ryder, Brown, and Harbour have earned individual awards and nominations. Franchise. Main article, Stranger Things, franchise. The success of the series has led to a wider multimedia franchise, which includes various television spin-offs, a stage play, a line of novels and comics, several video games, and extensive licensed merchandise. Winona Laura Horowitz 1/WINON/WINON, born October 29, 1971, one known professionally as Winona Ryder, is an American actress. Having come to attention playing quirky characters in the late 1980s too, she achieved success with her more dramatic performances in the 1990s. Ryder's many accolades include a Golden Globe, as well as nominations for 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA Award, and a Grammy Award. Following her film debut in Lucas, 1986, Ryder rose to prominence when she starred in the comedy Beetlejuice, 1988. Major parts in Heathers, 1989, Edward Scissorhands, 1990, Mermaids, 1990, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992, came next. She earned 2 consecutive Oscar nominations, Best Supporting Actress and Best Actress for her portrayals of a socialite in The Age of Innocence, 1993, and Jo March in Little Women, 1994, respectively. Her subsequent work included starring roles in Reality Bites, 1994, How to Make an American Quilt, 1995, The Crucible, 1996, Alien Resurrection, 1997, Celebrity, 1998, Girl, Interrupted, 1999, and Mr. Deeds, 2002. Ryder took a break from acting in the early 2000s, after the significant negative media attention brought by her arrest in 2001 for shoplifting, later returning with smaller appearances in films such as Star Trek, 2009, Black Swan, 2010, and The Dilemma, 2011. She portrayed Lois Wilson in the Hallmark television film When Love Is Not Enough, 2010. From 2016 to 2025, she played Joyce Byers on the Netflix series Stranger Things, for which she received her 3rd Golden Globe nomination. She has since starred in the HBO miniseries The Plot Against America, 2020, and the comedy horror sequel Beetlejuice, 2024. Early life. Winona Laura Horowitz was born in Winona County, Minnesota to Cynthia Palmer, née Istas, and Michael D. Horowitz. 5. Ryder's mother is an author, video producer, and editor, and her father was an author, editor, publisher, and antiquarian bookseller. 6-7 He also worked as an archivist for psychologist Timothy Leary, Ryder's godfather. 8. Ryder's father's family is of Ashkenazi Jewish descent, with ancestry from Ukraine. 9-10 Romania and Russia. 11-12-13 Growing up, Ryder visited her paternal grandparents in Brooklyn for the Jewish holiday of Passover, every year. 14 Her mother has Irish ancestry. 15-16 Named after Winona, Minnesota, Ryder was given her middle name, Laura, because of her parents' friendship with Laura Huxley, Ryder Aldous Huxley's wife. 17 Ryder's stage name derives from Mitch Ryder, a soul and rock singer, 18 of whom her father was a fan. 19 Her father is an atheist and her mother is a Buddhist. 18 Ryder has a younger brother, Yuri, named in honor of the first man in space, Yuri Gagarin, and 2 older half-siblings from her mother's prior marriage, half-brother Jubal Palmer and half-sister Sunyata Palmer. Ryder's family friends were her godfather Timothy Leary, the beat movement poets Allen Ginsberg and Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and the science fiction novelist Philip K. Dick. 17 In 1978, when she was 7 years old, she and her family relocated to Rainbow, a commune near Elk, Mendocino County, California, where they lived with 7 other families on a 300-acre, 120-ha plot of land. As the remote property had no electricity or television sets, Ryder began to devote her time to reading and became an avid fan of J.D. Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye. 20. Ryder and Friends, Petaluma Argus-Courier, April 25, 1986. When she was 10, Ryder and her family moved to Petaluma, California. During her first week at Kenilworth Junior High, she was bullied by children who mistook her for an effeminate boy. 17 In 1983, 12-year-old Ryder enrolled at the American Conservatory Theater in nearby San Francisco, where she took her first acting lessons. During the same year, she nearly drowned. The experience caused her to develop aquaphobia. 17 The psychological trauma caused problems later in her life during the underwater scenes in Alien Resurrection, 1997, some of which had to be reshot numerous times. 17 Ryder continued to be bullied through high school. When she achieved early film success with Beetlejuice, I remember thinking, oh, it's like the #1 movie. This is going to make things great at school. but it made things worse. They called me a witch. 21. Ryder has said that her natural hair color is brown, but she was really blonde as a kid. 22. When she was 11 or 12, she started dyeing her blonde hair blue and purple. At the time of her audition for the 1986 film Lucas, her hair had been dyed black and the filmmakers asked her to keep it. 23. Career. 1985 to 1990, early roles and breakthrough. Winona was so smart. She was 15, she turned 16 on the movie. She was a prodigy. From a very young age, she was an old soul. She really got the words and the imagery. She had watched tons of old movies. She was really sophisticated intellectually. She had the beauty of Veronica. She had the intelligence. She was just the perfect anti-Heather. Denise de Novi, producer of Heathers 24. In 1985, Ryder sent a videotaped audition, where she recited a monologue from the novel Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger, to appear in the film Desert Bloom. Although the role went to Annabeth Gish, 1720, writer/director David Seltzer cast her in his high school drama Lucas, 1986, which starred Corey Haim, Charlie Sheen, and Kerry Green. When asked how she wanted her name to appear in the credits, she suggested Ryder as her surname because a Mitch Ryder album that belonged to her father was playing in the background. 20. Ryder's next film was Square Dance, 1987, where her teenage character creates a bridge between two different worlds, a traditional farm in the middle of nowhere and a large city. She won acclaim for the performance, with the Los Angeles Times calling it a remarkable debut. 25. Both films were only marginally successful commercially. After seeing her in Lucas, director Tim Burton cast Ryder in his film Beetlejuice, 1988. 26. She starred as a goth teenager whose family moves to a haunted house populated by ghosts, played by Geena Davis, Alec Baldwin, and Michael Keaton. The film was a success at the box office, and the film as well as Ryder's performance received mostly positive reviews from critics. 27-28. Also in 1988, she appeared alongside Kiefer Sutherland and Robert Downey Jr. in 1969, a drama about the Vietnam War and the tensions it created in American families. 29. Ryder next starred in the independent film Heathers, 1989. The film, a satirical take on teenage life, featured Ryder and Christian Slater as high school sweethearts who begin killing off popular students. Her agent initially begged her to turn the role down, saying the film would ruin her career. 17. Critical reaction to the film was largely positive. 30. And Ryder's performance was positively received, with the Washington Post calling Ryder Hollywood's most impressive ingenue. Ryder makes us love her teenage murderess, a bright, funny girl with a little Bonnie Parker in her. She is the most likable, best drawn young adult protagonist since The Sexual Innocent of Gregory's Girl. 31. Despite its critical success, Heathers was a box office flop, but has achieved the status of a cult film in following decades. 32. However, soon after the film's release, Ryder had an offer to co-star in the 1990 film The Freshman, rescinded because the production team was offended by the film's controversial subject matter. 33. Later that year, she starred in the 1989 biopic Great Balls of Fire, in which she played the 13-year-old bride and cousin of rock and roll idol Jerry Lee Lewis. The film was a box office failure and received mixed reviews from critics. 34. Ryder also appeared in 1989 in the music video for Mojo Nixon's Debbie Gibson Is Pregnant with My Two-Headed Love Child. 35. Ryder began the 1990s with 3 starring roles. In the fantasy film Edward Scissorhands, 1990, she reunited with director Tim Burton to play the female lead alongside her then-boyfriend Johnny Depp. The film was a significant box office success, grossing $86 million, and receiving much critical devotion. 36. 37. Ryder's second role of the year was in the family comedy drama Mermaids, 1990, which co-starred Cher, Bob Hoskins, and Christina Ricci. Mermaids was a moderate box office success and Ryder's performance was acclaimed. Critic Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times wrote, "Winona Ryder, in another of her alienated outsider roles, generates real charisma." 38. For her performance, Ryder received a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actress in a Supporting Role 39 and a National Board Review Award for the same category. 40. Following Mermaids, Ryder had the lead role as a troubled teenager in the comedy drama Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael, 1990. The film co-starred Jeff Daniels and was deemed a commercial flop. In 1990, Ryder also made a cameo in Roy Orbison's music video A Love So Beautiful with Matthew Modine 41 and was awarded Showist's Female Star of Tomorrow by the National Association of Theatre Owners. 40. She was next slated to appear as Mary Corleone in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather Part 3, but withdrew from the project in the beginning of filming in 1990 due to nervous exhaustion. 42-43. 1991 to 2000, established actress. In 1991, Ryder played a young taxicab driver in Jim Jarmusch's independent film Night on Earth. The film was given a limited release, but received critical praise. 44. Ryder then starred in 3 big-budget adaptations of literary classics. The first was Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992, directed by Francis Ford Coppola and featuring Ryder in the dual role of Mina Murray and Count Dracula's past lover, Princess Elisabetta. 17. The script was originally intended for a television adaptation, but Ryder liked it so much she brought it to Coppola's attention. The film premiered in November 1992 to critical and commercial success. 45. Ryder continued her work in period films with Martin Scorsese's The Age of Innocence, 1993, an adaptation of Edith Wharton's novel that co-starred Michelle Pfeiffer and Daniel Day-Lewis. Ryder considers Scorsese the best director in the world. 46. For her portrayal of May Welland, the fiancée of Newland Archer, Day-Lewis, Ryder won a Golden Globe 39 and received Academy Award and BAFTA nominations as well. 47. Although not a commercial success, The Age of Innocence received critical praise upon its release in October 1993. Vincent Canby in the New York Times wrote, "Ms. Ryder is wonderful as this sweet young thing who's hard as nails, as much out of ignorance as of self-interest." 48. Ryder next starred alongside Meryl Streep, Jeremy Irons, Antonio Banderas, and Glenn Close in the melodrama The House of the Spirits, 1993, based on Isabel Allende's novel. Also released in October 1993, the film was poorly reviewed and a box office flop, grossing just $6 million on its $40 million budget. 49. Ebert wrote that Ryder seems an unlikely casting choice, but she is more convincing, with more abandon and passion, and she makes her character work. 50. Ryder was next set to star in Broken Dreams 51 with actor River Phoenix. The project was put on hold due to his death on October 31, 1993. 52. In 1993, Ryder also appeared on the music video Without a Trace by Soul Asylum, whose member Dave Pirner was her boyfriend at the time. 53. Among the movie's strengths are the performances, especially that of Ryder, who comes across as bright, beautiful, and more delicate than ever before. Orlando Sentinel film critic J. Boyer discussing Reality Bites 54. Ryder's next film, the Generation X drama Reality Bites, 1994, marked a departure from period films. Directed by Ben Stiller and co-starring Ethan Hawke, the film featured Ryder as a recent college graduate searching for direction in life. According to Hawke and Stiller, the film got greenlit only due to Ryder's star status. 55. Her performance received acclaim, but the film did not meet its studio's expectations in the box office. 56. Ryder returned to period films later that year, appearing as Jo March in Little Women, an adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's novel. The film received widespread praise. Critic Janet Maslin of the New York Times wrote that it was the greatest adaptation of the novel and that Ms. Ryder, whose banner year also includes a fine comic performance in Reality Bites, plays Jo with spark and confidence. Her spirited presence gives the film an appealing linchpin, and she plays the self-proclaimed man of the family with just the right staunchness. 57-58. Ryder received her second Oscar nomination for the role, this time as Best Actress. 47. In 1994, Ryder also made a guest appearance in The Simpsons episode Lisa's Rival as Allison Taylor, whose intelligence and overachieving personality makes her an adversary of Lisa. 59. Ryder's next starring role was in How to Make an American Quilt, 1995, an adaptation of the novel of the same name by Whitney Otto, co-starring Anne Bancroft, Maya Angelou, and Ellen Burstyn. The film grossed nearly 4 times its budget and received mixed to positive reviews from critics. 60. The same year, Ryder narrated Anne Frank's The Diary of a Young Girl, for which she received a Grammy Award nomination. A review by Audiophile praised her performance, saying, "Winona Ryder is the perfect narrator for this work. Her voice sounds very young, matching the 14-year-old's enthusiasm and frustrations." 61. Ryder received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on October 6, 2000. Ryder made several film appearances in 1996, the first in Boys. The film failed to become a box office success and attracted mostly negative critical reaction. Ebert wrote, "Boys is a low-rent, dumbed-down version of Before Sunrise, with a rent-a plot substituting for clever dialogue, calling the film a waste of Ryder's talent." 62. Her next role was in Looking for Richard, Al Pacino's meta-documentary on a production of William Shakespeare's Richard III, which grossed only $1 million at the box office but drew moderate critical acclaim. 63. She starred in The Crucible with Daniel Day-Lewis and Joan Allen. The film, an adaptation of Arthur Miller's play, centered on the Salem witch trials. It was expected to be a success, considering its budget, but was a commercial failure. 64. Despite this, it was well received and Ryder's performance was lauded, with Peter Travers of Rolling Stone writing, "Ryder offers a transfixing portrait of warped innocence." 65. Ryder later claimed that the role of Abigail Williams was the hardest in her whole career. 66. Ryder next took on a role as an android in Alien Resurrection, 1997, alongside Sigourney Weaver, who stars in the first 4 Alien films. Ryder's brother, Yuri, was a fan of the series, and when approached about it, she agreed to the project. The film became one of the least successful entries in the Alien film series, but was otherwise considered a success as it grossed $161 million worldwide. 67. Ryder's and Weaver's performances drew mostly positive reviews, and Ryder won a Blockbuster Entertainment Award for Best Actress. In his review of the film, Ebert commented that Ryder lacked the conviction and presence to stand alongside Weaver and the rest of the cast. He compared her with Jeanette Goldstein in Aliens. "Ryder is a wonderful actress, one of the most gifted of her generation, but wrong for this movie," he wrote. 68. At 1997's Showist event, she was presented with the Female Star of the Year award. 69. On Valentine's Day, 1998, Ryder performed in Eve Ensler's play The Vagina Monologues. 70. She then starred in Woody Allen's Celebrity, 1998, after Drew Barrymore turned down Ryder's role, in an ensemble cast. 17. The film satirizes the lives of several celebrities. In 1998, Ryder also appeared in the music video for John Spencer Blues Explosion's song Talk About the Blues. A screenshot from the video later appeared on the cover of their album Extra Acme USA. 71-72. In 1998, Ryder and Leonardo DiCaprio narrated Survivors, Testimonies of the Holocaust, a CD-ROM produced by Steven Spielberg's Show Foundation. 73. She also served as a member of the jury, led by Martin Scorsese, at the 1998 Cannes Film Festival. 74. In 1999, Ryder starred in and served as an executive producer for Girl, Interrupted, based on the 1993 memoir of the same name by Susanna Kaysen. The film had been in development since late 1996, but took time to begin filming. Ryder was deeply attached to the project, calling it her child of the heart. 17. She played Kaysen, who has borderline personality disorder and was admitted to a psychiatric hospital for recovery. Directed by James Mangold and co-starring Angelina Jolie, the film was expected to mark Ryder's comeback playing leading roles. Instead, it turned out to be the welcome to Hollywood coronation for Jolie, who won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance. 75. Ebert wrote, Ryder shows again her skill at projecting mental states. One of her gifts is to let us know exactly what she's thinking, without seeming to. 76. He later called Ryder one of the reasons to see the film. The same year, Ryder was parodied in South Park, Bigger, Longer and Uncut. She also started her own music company, Roustabout Studios, in 1999. 40. In April 2000, Ryder was awarded the Peter J. Owens Award at the San Francisco Film Festival. 77. Her next film, the melodrama Autumn in New York, co-starring Richard Gere, was released in August. The film received mixed reviews, but was a commercial success, grossing $90 million at the worldwide box office. 78-79. In September, Ryder made a guest appearance in the series finale of Comedy Central's Strangers with Candy. 80. She then played a nun of a secret society loosely connected to the Roman Catholic Church and determined to prevent Armageddon in Lost Souls, 2000, a commercial failure. Ryder refused to do commercial promotion for the film. 17. She later said, I was attracted to Lost Souls because I know nothing about this subject. I personally don't believe in demonic possession. For me to play this woman was a real challenge. She is the ultimate believer. Most of all, I just wanted to do a movie in the thriller genre, at least one. 81. On October 6, 2000, Ryder received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. 82. 2001 to 2005, hiatus. In 2001, Ryder began a 4-year career hiatus. Apart from a guest appearance on NBC's sitcom Friends, playing Rachel's college sorority sister 83 and a brief cameo in Ben Stiller's comedy Zoolander, 2001, she appeared in no new releases in 2001. She was scheduled to appear in Lily and the Secret of Planting, but withdrew from the project after being hospitalized for a severe stomach-related disorder in August 2001. 84. In December 2001, Ryder was arrested for shoplifting, which made it difficult for her to be insured for further film projects. After her courtroom appearances in Marc Jacobs clothes were noted in the media, she appeared in Jacobs' Spring 2003 advertising campaign. 85. Woody Allen wanted to cast Robert Downey Jr. and Ryder in his film Melinda and Melinda, 2004, but was unable to do so because I couldn't get insurance on them. We couldn't get bonded. The completion bonding companies would not bond the picture unless we could insure them. We were heartbroken because I had worked with Winona before on Celebrity and thought she was perfect for this and wanted to work with her again. 86-87. In 2002, Ryder appeared in 2 movies filmed before her arrest. The first was a romantic comedy, Mr. Deeds, with Adam Sandler, grossing over $126 million in the United States alone. 88. The film was not a critical success. Film critic Philip French called it a terrible film, saying that remakes are often bad, but this one was particularly bad. 89. The second film was the science fiction drama Simone, in which she portrayed a glamorous star who is replaced by a computer-simulated actress due to the clandestine machinations of a director, portrayed by Al Pacino. On May 18, 2002, Ryder hosted Saturday Night Live. 1991. In 2005, Ryder co-produced and co-narrated the documentary The Day My God Died, 2004, with Tim Robbins, which focuses on international child sex trafficking. 2. 2006 to 2015, returned to film. Ryder in 2009. Ryder made a career return with appearances in several independent films in 2006 and 2007. The first was the Darwin Awards, 2006, in which she acted alongside Joseph Fiennes. 92. The second was Richard Linklater's A Scanner Darkly, a film adaptation of Philip K. Dick's novel, in which she co-starred opposite Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey, Jr., and Woody Harrelson. The film was made entirely with rotoscope software, which was used to turn live-action scenes into animation. The next year, Ryder appeared in David Wayne's comedy The 1093 and reunited with Heather's screenwriter Daniel Waters for the surreal black comedy Sex and Death 101. 94. She also starred in the Kirsten Dunst-directed short horror film Welcome 95 and made a brief appearance in the music video for We're All Stuck Out in the Desert by Jonathan Rice. 96. In 2008, Ryder played the female lead opposite Wes Bentley and Ray Romano in Jeffrey Haley's offbeat romantic drama The Last Word. 97. She then starred as a newscaster in the film adaptation of The Informers. 98. She also appeared in director J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, as Spock's human mother Amanda Grayson. 99. Several media outlets noted Ryder's return to film during this time. 89. 101. In 2009, Ryder starred alongside Robin Wright and Julianne Moore in Rebecca Miller's The Private Lives of Pippa Lee, 2009. 102. The next year, Ryder had a prominent supporting role as an aging ballet star in Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan. She also starred in the independent film Stay Cool alongside Hilary Duff, Mark Polish, and Chevy Chase, and in the television movie When Love Is Not Enough, The Lois Wilson Story. For her performance as Lois Wilson, whose husband co-founded Alcoholics Anonymous in 1930s, Ryder was nominated for the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Movie or Miniseries. 103. 104. Entertainment Weekly wrote, Ryder played her character with wide eyes of both innocence and terror. 105. Ryder next appeared in a leading role in Ron Howard's The Dilemma, 2011, co-starring Vince Vaughn and Kevin James. 106. Ryder, Center, with Ray Liotta and Michael Shannon, promoting The Iceman in 2012. Ryder then played Deborah Kuklinski 107, the wife of contract killer Richard Kuklinski, in the thriller The Iceman, 2012, co-starring Michael Shannon. 108. She also appeared with her The Iceman co-star James Franco in The Letter, 2012. 109. She reunited with director Tim Burton, who directed her in the music video for The Killer's single, Here With Me, 110, and cast her in the animated 3D feature film Frankenweenie, 2012. Ryder also worked with the classic film channel TCM in 2012, guest hosting for a week in September, while Robert Osborne was on vacation 111 and introducing some of her favorite classic films in December. 112. 111. In 2013, Ryder appeared in the action thriller Homefront, 2013, again opposite James Franco, this time playing a meth-addicted woman. Stephen Boone of RoachRebert.com wrote, Ryder often seems on the verge of laughing in Franco's face as he attempts to manhandle and pimp-talk her. But it's nice to see her raven eyes and regal cheekbones on a big screen again, in whatever capacity. 113. Ryder also starred in a segment of the Comedy Central television series Drunk History, 2013, called Boston. She played religious protester Mary Dyer opposite stern Puritan magistrate John Endicott, played by Michael Cera. 114. She then took on the role of Peggy Shippen, the wife of Benedict Arnold, in her appearance of the second season of Drunk History, 2014. 115. In 2014, Ryder appeared in the British television film Turks and Caicos, 2014, and modeled in the fall advertising campaign of fashion label Rag & Bone. 116. In 2015, Ryder was a juror at the Sundance Film Festival. 117 She continued her work in television with the HBO miniseries Show Me a Hero, 2015, in which she played the president of the Yonkers City Council. She then starred alongside Peter Sarsgaard in the biopic Experimenter, playing the wife of Stanley Milgram. Experimenter was released to positive reviews in October 2015. 119 Ryder also appeared in advertisements for Marc Jacobs 120 both for their cosmetics and for their spring 2016 collection. 122. 2016, present, Stranger Things and Resurgence. In 2016, Ryder began starring in the Netflix science fiction horror series Stranger Things 123 created by the Duffer Brothers, playing Joyce Byers, a single mother whose 12-year-old son will vanishes mysteriously. The Duffer Brothers said that Ryder has a very intense energy about her, a wiry unpredictability, a sort of anxiousness that we thought we'd really lean into. 124. The series' first season premiered in July 2016 to critical acclaim and high audience ratings. 125 Ryder also received praise for her performance 126 and the cast won the SAG Award for Best Ensemble in a Drama Series in 2017. The second and third seasons of the series were released in October 2017 and July 2019. For Season 3, she was paid a reported $350,000 per episode. 127 The filming for the fourth season had been halted due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but resumed in September 2020. The first volume of Season 4 premiered on May 27, 2022, and the second volume on July 1, 2022. Kate Bush's 1985 song Running Up That Hill achieved renewed commercial success after it was included in the season. Ryder had frequently worn Kate Bush t-shirts and lapel badges on set. 128 The fifth and final season was released in November and December 2025. 129. In 2018, Ryder appeared in the film Destination Wedding, alongside Keanu Reeves. The same year, Ryder also starred in a L'Oreal shampoo commercial 130 and in H&M's spring collection campaign co-starring Elizabeth Olsen. 131 In 2020, Ryder appeared in Squarespace Super Bowl commercial, which aired during the first half of the game. 132 Later that year, she starred in The Plot Against America, an HBO limited series based on Philip Roth's 2004 novel of the same name. 133 David Simon, the creator of the series, said, "Winona always had the standing of the great American ingenue. Now we're ready for the second act, because she's always been a remarkable actor, always asking questions about the role, doing the research, and then feeling the camera instinctively once the work begins." 14. The series was Ryder's second collaboration with Simon. In 2014, she appeared in his HBO miniseries Show Me a Hero. 134. In 2021, Ryder reprised her role as Kim Boggs in Edward Scissorhands alongside Timothy Chalamet in a Super Bowl ad for Cadillac. 135 Her next film was Gone in the Night, co-starring Dermot Mulroney. As early as 1992, Ryder had expressed her willingness to appear in a sequel to Beetlejuice 136, hinting at such a return in a November 2013 interview, provided that Burton and Keaton were involved. 137 And confirmed again in August 2015 that she would reprise her role in the sequel. 138 The sequel, Beetlejuice, wrapped filming in late 2023, and was released in October 2024. 139. Personal life. Ryder promoting Black Swan in 2010. Ryder maintains homes in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Williamsburg in New York City. 140 She is Jewish and has experienced anti-Semitism. 141 She suffers from insomnia and has been a victim of stalking. 142 143 144. She has credited her career to director Tim Burton. 146. Ryder has been involved in philanthropic work since her 20s for the American Indian College Fund, which sends low-income Native Americans to universities. 148. In a 2025 interview with Josh Horowitz, Ryder indicated she may be on the autistic spectrum. 149. Relationships. Ryder met Johnny Depp at The Great Balls of Fire. Premiere in June 1989. In February 1990, the 18-year-old Ryder began dating the 26-year-old Depp after they were reintroduced by a mutual friend. They became engaged in July of that year, but split up in June 1993. 151. She dated Soul Asylum band member Dave Pirner from 1993 to 1996. 142 and actor Matt Damon from 1998 to 2000. From 2003 to 2005 she dated Helmet frontman Page Hamilton. 152. Since 2011, she has been in a relationship with fashion designer Scott McKinley Hahn. 153. 154. Polly Klaas. Main article, Murder of Polly Klaas. In 1993, Ryder offered a $200,000 reward in hopes that it would lead to the safe return of kidnapped child Polly Klaas. 155. 156. Klaas lived in Petaluma, where Ryder grew up. After the girl's death, Ryder dedicated her performance as Jo in the 1994 film adaptation of Little Women, one of Klaas's favorite novels, to Klaas's memory. 157. During a sentencing hearing related to her 2001 shoplifting incident, Ryder's attorney, Mark Garagos, referred to her work with the Polly Klaas Foundation and other charitable causes. In response, Deputy District Attorney Ann Rundle said, "What's offensive to me is to trot out the body of a dead child." 158. Polly's father, Mark Klaas, defended Ryder and expressed outrage at the prosecutor's comments. 158. 159. Legal issues. On December 12, 2001, Ryder was arrested on shoplifting charges in Beverly Hills, California, accused of stealing $5,500 worth of designer clothes and accessories from a Saks Fifth Avenue department store. 160. 161. 162. Los Angeles District Attorney Stephen Cooley assembled a team of 8 prosecutors and filed 4 felony charges against her. 163. Failed verification. Ryder hired celebrity defense attorney Mark Garagos. Negotiations failed to produce a plea bargain at the end of summer 2002 as the prosecution insisted on charging Ryder with a felony and not a misdemeanor. Joel Mowbray from National Review noted that the prosecution also refused the store's request to drop the charges. 164. 165. She was accused of using drugs, including oxycodone, diazepam, and Vicodin without valid prescription, but prosecutors dropped a drug possession count after it was proved that a doctor provided it to her as a medical treatment. 166. She was convicted of grand theft 167 and shoplifting but acquitted on the charge of burglary. 168. In December 2002, she was sentenced to 3 years of probation, 480 hours of community service, $3,700 in fines, and $6,355 in restitution to the Saks Fifth Avenue store, and ordered to attend psychological counseling and drug counseling. 169. On June 18, 2004, Superior Court Judge Eldon Fox reviewed Ryder's probation report and observed that she had served 480 hours of community service, and the felonies were reduced to misdemeanors. She finished her probation in December 2005. 170. Ryder later explained that the incident occurred during a difficult time in her life in which she was clinically depressed. 171. She added that the pain-killing medication, which a quack physician had prescribed her, clouded her judgment significantly. 172-173 Jules Mark Lussman, who prescribed the medication, subsequently had his medical license revoked by the Medical Board of California for unethically prescribing medication to his patients. 174. Filmography and awards. Main articles: Winona Ryder filmography and awards and nominations. Ryder has been recognized by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for the following performances: 66th Academy Awards, 1994 Best Supporting Actress, nomination, For the Age of Innocence. 67th Academy Awards, 1995 Best Actress, nomination, For Little Women. Ryder has been nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, winning 1 British Academy Film Award, 7 Screen Actors Guild Awards, winning 1, and 1 Grammy Award. Winona Laura Horowitz 1/WI non/WINON, born October 29, 1971, 1 known professionally as Winona Ryder, is an American actress. Having come to attention playing quirky characters in the late 1980s, she achieved success with her more dramatic performances in the 1990s. Ryder's many accolades include a Golden Globe, as well as nominations for 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA Award, and a Grammy Award. Following her film debut in Lucas, 1986, Ryder rose to prominence when she starred in the comedy Beetlejuice, 1988. Major parts in Heathers, 1989, Edward Scissorhands, 1990, Mermaids, 1990, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992, came next. She earned 2 consecutive Oscar nominations, Best Supporting Actress and Best Actress, for her portrayals of a socialite in The Age of Innocence, 1993, and Jo March in Little Women, 1994, respectively. Her subsequent work included starring roles in Reality Bites, 1994, How to Make an American Quilt, 1995, The Crucible, 1996, Alien Resurrection, 1997, Celebrity, 1998, Girl, Interrupted, 1999, and Mr. Deeds, 2002. Ryder took a break from acting in the early 2000s, after the significant negative media attention brought by her arrest in 2001 for shoplifting, later returning with smaller appearances in films such as Star Trek, 2009, Black Swan, 2010, and The Dilemma, 2011. She portrayed Lois Wilson in the Hallmark television film When Love Is Not Enough, 2010. From 2016 to 2025, she played Joyce Byers on the Netflix series Stranger Things, for which she received her 3rd Golden Globe nomination. She has since starred in the HBO miniseries The Plot Against America, 2020, and the comedy horror sequel Beetlejuice, 2024. Early life. Winona Laura Horowitz was born in Winona County, Minnesota, to Cynthia Palmer, née Istas, and Michael D. Horowitz. Ryder's mother is an author, video producer, and editor, and her father was an author, editor, publisher, and antiquarian bookseller. 7 He also worked as an archivist for psychologist Timothy Leary, Ryder's godfather. 8 Ryder's father's family is of Ashkenazi Jewish descent, with ancestry from Ukraine. 9-10 Romania and Russia. 11-12-13 Growing up, Ryder visited her paternal grandparents in Brooklyn for the Jewish holiday of Passover, every year. 14 Her mother has Irish ancestry. 15-16 Named after Winona, Minnesota, Ryder was given her middle name, Laura, because of her parents' friendship with Laura Huxley, Ryder Aldous Huxley's wife. 17 Ryder's stage name derives from Mitch Ryder, a soul and rock singer, 18 of whom her father was a fan. 19 Her father is an atheist and her mother is a Buddhist. 18 Ryder has a younger brother, Yuri, named in honor of the first man in space, Yuri Gagarin, and 2 older half-siblings from her mother's prior marriage, half-brother Jubal Palmer and half-sister Sunyata Palmer. Ryder's family friends were her godfather Timothy Leary, the Beat movement poets Allen Ginsberg and Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and the science fiction novelist Philip K. Dick. 17 in 1978, when she was 7 years old, she and her family relocated to Rainbow, a commune near Elk, Mendocino County, California, where they lived with 7 other families on a 300-acre, 120-ha plot of land. As the remote property had no electricity or television sets, Ryder began to devote her time to reading and became an avid fan of J.D. Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye. 20. Ryder and Friends, Petaluma Argus-Courier, April 25, 1986. When she was 10, Ryder and her family moved to Petaluma, California. During her first week at Kenilworth Junior High, she was bullied by children who mistook her for an effeminate boy. 17 in 1983, 12-year-old Ryder enrolled at the American Conservatory Theater in nearby San Francisco, where she took her first acting lessons. During the same year, she nearly drowned. The experience caused her to develop aquaphobia. 17 The psychological trauma caused problems later in her life during the underwater scenes in Alien Resurrection, 1997, some of which had to be reshot numerous times. 17 Ryder continued to be bullied through high school. When she achieved early film success with Beetlejuice, I remember thinking, oh, it's like the #1 movie. This is going to make things great at school. But it made things worse. They called me a witch. 21. Ryder has said that her natural hair color is brown, but she was really blonde as a kid. 22 When she was 11 or 12, she started dyeing her blonde hair blue and purple. At the time of her audition for the 1986 film Lucas, her hair had been dyed black and the filmmakers asked her to keep it. 23. Career. 1985 to 1990, early roles and breakthrough. Winona was so smart. She was 15, she turned 16 on the movie. She was a prodigy. From a very young age, she was an old soul. She really got the words and the imagery. She had watched tons of old movies. She was really sophisticated intellectually. She had the beauty of Veronica. She had the intelligence. She was just the perfect anti-Heather. Denise de Novi, producer of Heathers 24. In 1985, Ryder sent a videotaped audition, where she recited a monologue from the novel Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger, to appear in the film Desert Bloom. Although the role went to Annabeth Gish, 1720 writer/director David Seltzer cast her in his high school drama Lucas, 1986, which starred Corey Haim, Charlie Sheen, and Carrie Green. When asked how she wanted her name to appear in the credits, she suggested Ryder as her surname because a Mitch Ryder album that belonged to her father was playing in the background. 20 Ryder's next film was Square Dance, 1987, where her teenage character creates a bridge between two different worlds, a traditional farm in the middle of nowhere and a large city. She won acclaim for the performance, with the Los Angeles Times calling it a remarkable debut. 25. Both films were only marginally successful commercially. After seeing her in Lucas, director Tim Burton cast Ryder in his film Beetlejuice, 1988. 26 She starred as a goth teenager whose family moves to a haunted house populated by ghosts, played by Geena Davis, Alec Baldwin, and Michael Keaton. The film was a success at the box office, and the film as well as Ryder's performance received mostly positive reviews from critics. 27-28 Also in 1988, she appeared alongside Kiefer Sutherland and Robert Downey Jr. in 1969, a drama about the Vietnam War and the tensions it created in American families. 29. Ryder next starred in the independent film Heathers, 1989. The film, a satirical take on teenage life, featured Ryder and Christian Slater as high school sweethearts who begin killing off popular students. Her agent initially begged her to turn the role down, saying the film would ruin her career. 17 Critical reaction to the film was largely positive. 30 And Ryder's performance was positively received, with the Washington Post calling Ryder Hollywood's most impressive ingenue. Ryder makes us love her teenage murderess, a bright, funny girl with a little Bonnie Parker in her. She is the most likable, best-drawn young adult protagonist since The Sexual Innocent of Gregory's Girl. 31. Despite its critical success, Heathers was a box office flop, but has achieved the status of a cult film in following decades. 32. However, soon after the film's release, Ryder had an offer to co-star in the 1990 film The Freshman rescinded because the production team was offended by the film's controversial subject matter. 33. Later that year, she starred in the 1989 biopic Great Balls of Fire, in which she played the 13-year-old bride, and cousin, of rock and roll idol Jerry Lee Lewis. The film was a box office failure and received mixed reviews from critics. 34. Ryder also appeared in 1989 in the music video for Mojo Nixon's Debbie Gibson is Pregnant with My Two-Headed Love Child. 35. Ryder began the 1990s with 3 starring roles. In the fantasy film Edward Scissorhands, 1990, she reunited with director Tim Burton to play the female lead alongside her then-boyfriend Johnny Depp. The film was a significant box office success, grossing $86 million, and receiving much critical devotion. 36. 37. Ryder's second role of the year was in the family comedy drama Mermaids, 1990, which co-starred Cher, Bob Hoskins, and Christina Ricci. Mermaids was a moderate box office success and Ryder's performance was acclaimed. Critic Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times wrote, "Winona Ryder, in another of her alienated outsider roles, generates real charisma." 38. For her performance, Ryder received a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actress in a Supporting Role 39 and a National Board Review Award for the same category. 40. Following Mermaids, Ryder had the lead role as a troubled teenager in the comedy drama Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael, 1990. The film co-starred Jeff Daniels and was deemed a commercial flop. In 1990, Ryder also made a cameo in Roy Orbison's music video A Love So Beautiful with Matthew Modine 41 and was awarded Showist's Female Star of Tomorrow by the National Association of Theatre Owners. 40. She was next slated to appear as Mary Corleone in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather Part 3, but withdrew from the project in the beginning of filming in 1990 due to nervous exhaustion. 42. 43. 1991 to 2000, established actress. In 1991, Ryder played a young taxicab driver in Jim Jarmusch's independent film Night on Earth. The film was given a limited release, but received critical praise. 44. Ryder then starred in 3 big-budget adaptations of literary classics. The first was Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992, directed by Francis Ford Coppola and featuring Ryder in the dual role of Mina Murray and Count Dracula's past lover, Princess Elisabetta. 17. The script was originally intended for a television adaptation but Ryder liked it so much she brought it to Coppola's attention. The film premiered in November 1992 to critical and commercial success. 45. Ryder continued her work in period films with Martin Scorsese's The Age of Innocence, 1993, an adaptation of Edith Wharton's novel that co-starred Michelle Pfeiffer and Daniel Day-Lewis. Ryder considers Scorsese the best director in the world. 46. For her portrayal of May Welland, the fiancée of Newland Archer, Day-Lewis, Ryder won a Golden Globe 39 and received Academy Award and BAFTA nominations as well. 47. Although not a commercial success, The Age of Innocence received critical praise upon its release in October 1993. Vincent Canby in the New York Times wrote, "Ms. Ryder is wonderful as this sweet young thing who's hard as nails, as much out of ignorance as of self-interest." 48. Ryder next starred alongside Meryl Streep, Jeremy Irons, Antonio Banderas, and Glenn Close in the melodrama The House of the Spirits, 1993, based on Isabel Allende's novel. Also released in October 1993, the film was poorly reviewed and a box office flop, grossing just $6 million on its $40 million budget. 49. Ebert wrote that Ryder seems an unlikely casting choice but she is more convincing, with more abandon and passion, and she makes her character work. 50. Ryder was next set to star in Broken Dreams 51 with actor River Phoenix. The project was put on hold due to his death on October 31, 1993. 52 in 1993, Ryder also appeared on the music video Without a Trace by Soul Asylum, whose member Dave Pirner was her boyfriend at the time. 53. Among the movie's strengths are the performances, especially that of Ryder, who comes across as bright, beautiful, and more delicate than ever before. Orlando Sentinel film critic J. Boyer discussing Reality Bites 54. Ryder's next film, the Generation X drama Reality Bites, 1994, marked a departure from period films. Directed by Ben Stiller and co-starring Ethan Hawke, the film featured Ryder as a recent college graduate searching for direction in life. According to Hawke and Stiller, the film got greenlit only due to Ryder's star status. 55. Her performance received acclaim, but the film did not meet its studio's expectations in the box office. 56. Ryder returned to period films later that year, appearing as Jo March in Little Women, an adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's novel. The film received widespread praise. Critic Janet Maslin of the New York Times wrote that it was the greatest adaptation of the novel and that Ms. Ryder, whose banner year also includes a fine comic performance in Reality Bites, plays Jo with spark and confidence. Her spirited presence gives the film an appealing linchpin, and she plays the self-proclaimed man of the family with just the right staunchness. 57. 58. Ryder received her second Oscar nomination for the role, this time as Best Actress. 47. In 1994, Ryder also made a guest appearance in The Simpsons episode Lisa's Rival as Allison Taylor, whose intelligence and overachieving personality makes her an adversary of Lisa. 59. Ryder's next starring role was in How to Make an American Quilt, 1995, an adaptation of the novel of the same name by Whitney Otto, co-starring Anne Bancroft, Maya Angelou, and Ellen Burstyn. The film grossed nearly 4 times its budget and received mixed to positive reviews from critics. 60. The same year, Ryder narrated Anne Frank's The Diary of a Young Girl,